Right after college, my parents took me back to China to visit extended family. It was a blur of banquet dinners, celebrating my newly minted diploma and the fancy New York City job I lined up. If you grew up as an immigrant kid, you'll recognize these telltale signs of a victory tour. Near the end of my tour, we made a stop in Xinhua, my dad's ancestral village in Hunan province. At the top of a dusty hill, my dad showed me a crumbling brick schoolhouse where he had learned to read and write. This schoolhouse was where he dared to dream beyond his means, to become the first person in our family to get a formal education and go on to earn a PhD. It was a warm day, but I felt a chill run up my spine. I was standing in the exact spot where the trajectory of my lineage began to diverge from millions across rural China. I stared at that decrepit schoolhouse and scanned the horizon, my eyes landing on a white Mercedes-Benz my cousin had driven in. There was something unsettling about the juxtaposition of that schoolhouse and the Mercedes. The Mercedes seemed to represent the kind of success I had been chasing. But the schoolhouse seemed to represent the lives of so many people around the world still. In that moment, my definition of success began to change. I realized I didn't want that Mercedes. I wanted to help tackle large societal challenges in economic development. And ever since that moment on the Hill, I have been obsessed with this question of how to tackle big societal challenges and make meaningful change. I've served as a consultant to Fortune 100 companies, conducted research at the World Bank, worked with nonprofits across Africa, and founded a Y Combinator-backed company. Today, I want to share what I've learned on how to make meaningful change. Tackle big problems, use startups, and partner with government. First, use startups to tackle big problems. Why use startups, you may ask? Because startups are designed for speed, to test new ideas quickly, adapt to changes, and prototype solutions. This iterative approach is extremely powerful when directed towards a North Star. Here in Silicon Valley, we often hear the mantra, test fast and break things. I lived and breathed this ethos when my startup went through Y Combinator. I co-founded Hive Health, the first digital health insurance company in the Philippines. We provide affordable, quality healthcare to small, medium businesses whose employees and loved ones currently are uninsured. Fixing the broken healthcare system is the crumbling schoolhouse. I relish the feeling of being scrappy and testing fast. We would launch little experiments to test our value proposition, doing things that definitely didn't scale. For instance, to lock in our first customer, we drove across Manila in a thunderstorm to do a live demo. Would kind of recommend. Testing fast is still my favorite part of entrepreneurship. It enables me to think creatively to solve a problem using whatever resources I have at my disposal. It's innovation out of necessity to solve a problem that really matters. As I got deeper and deeper into the test fast, break things world, I started to wonder, is breaking things really a good guideline? I see two flaws with this approach. The first issue with test fast, break things is the potential of breaking things that shouldn't be broken. In healthcare, this could literally be a matter of life or death. Maverick disregard for rules meant to safeguard well-being can also be detrimental for business. The second, more insidious issue with test fast and break things is it may limit entrepreneurs to focus in on niches where the cost of breaking things is trivial. Startups that focus on problem spaces where the cost of breaking things doesn't matter may be able to profit from arbitrage. But it limits their potential for meaningful change. Instead of building something custom fit for the sidelines, it's better to step onto the field to meet the challenge head on. Instead of test fast and break things, we should test fast and fix things. Startups can be effective in tackling big problems, and startups are uniquely positioned to do so because of the ability to test fast. My second learning for tackling big problems is to partner with government. I have seen firsthand what is possible when entrepreneurs and policymakers view each other as collaborators instead of enemies. Flashback to 2021. I'm in my Cambridge apartment, fiercely clicking refresh. No, I'm not waiting for the latest Netflix release. I was waiting for something far juicier. The publication of a new regulation on the Philippine Insurance Commission website. Juicy, right? After months of discussion with the government, we had co-developed a new regulatory sandbox framework. This sandbox enabled us to test new innovations in healthcare financing for the 100 million underinsured population in the Philippines. A regulatory sandbox is a way for government to allow private sector to test new innovations within the safeguards of a controlled environment. It started in the UK, and it's spread globally to places like Singapore, India, and Kenya. Without the sandbox, we would not have been able to fundamentally design a new patient experience. On the other hand, the consequences of not partnering with government can be detrimental. For instance, Uber poured in millions but failed to capture the Asian market because it tried to bulldoze through regulation, while its competitor Grab proactively engaged government in each step along the way and has flourished to become the largest super app across Southeast Asia. What I've learned from partnering with government is that it got us to the place faster and made us more ambitious than doing it by ourselves. Startups can be effective in tackling big problems, and doing so with government is more efficient. Government has the scale advantages that a startup can only dream of, but not the organizational model to test quickly. Startups can innovate quickly, but we don't have the scale that's needed necessarily. Now, back to tackling big problems. There is no silver bullet to address universal and societal challenges like healthcare, inequality, or climate change. Entrepreneurship may not be for everyone, and startups exist within an ecosystem of other important stakeholders. There are also regulatory environments that are truly Byzantine, like the US healthcare system, for instance, where progress may take a bit more time. But my experience in the Philippines has taught me that success is possible, potentially at a large scale. It first requires finding a problem that's worth solving. Starting a company takes a lot of effort. And if you're going to spend that much time on something, why not make it worthwhile by directing it to problems of consequence? And I will bet problems of consequence will require partnering with government in one way or another. I hope you'll each reflect on what is your version of a crumbling schoolhouse, and let it be the North Star that guides you. You never know where you may go. So don't aim for the shiny Mercedes, fix the crumbling schoolhouse. Do it with a startup and partner with government. Let's test fast and fix things.